All right, good afternoon from the Georgia WeatherNet 24/7 Storm Center. I'm meteorologist KJ Allen. I had a feeling we should have kept the stream going on that last warning because this storm was still pretty powerful, and it is. And we do have a tornado warning now in effect. It's going to be northeast of Valdosta for Atkinson County and northwestern Clinch County. This is in effect until 12:30. Doppler radar indicating that severe thunderstorm capable producing a tornado located near Pearson, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. So there's the possibility of a tornado with this storm and the possibility of quarter-size hail, and strong straight-line winds also a big factor. So let's take a look at what we have here. I'm going to take a look at some of the upper scans, and this is going to be, looks like just south of Pearson. This isn't the prettiest rotation, but this storm is pretty spread out as well. This is not a real classic supercell that we're looking at. This is obviously has a lot of precipitation, so this is a rain-wrapped storm, high precipitation, still would be considered a supercell, and this looks a little bit more organized here. So yeah, we are picking up that velocity right in here. This is going to be just south of Pearson, moving toward Axon, and if it continues to hold together, we could be crossing into just the western edge of Ware County around Millwood. So it would still be a good idea to go ahead and be in your tornado-safe place if you know anybody in Millwood, to let them know that this is a potentially dangerous storm. Looks like it's going to cross just to the south of Pearson, but head toward the Axon community, heading toward Highway 82, and then continuing to move northeast through Atkinson County. We do have some strong thunderstorm activity there in northern Clinch County, and that's part of the tornado warning, but that's right on the line. So that's why the Weather Service has Clinch County included in that. But for the most part, Clinch County is just going to be experiencing the straight line winds and the heavy rain. The storm that could produce the tornado looks to be almost 100% inside Atkinson County. Let me just go back to the velocity. 99% in Atkinson County. So that's where our main concern is going to be right now. South of Pearson, heading toward Axon, and then moving in toward the northeast corner of Atkinson County. Looks like it should be remaining east of 221 for the most part. But so if you're west of 221, even though Kirkland is in there in the warning polygon, just know that your main threat is going to be east of Highway 221, moving up toward 82 and Axon. All right, let me zoom out just to give you the big picture in case you're just joining us. Where we're looking at here, this is South Georgia. This is northeast of Valdosta. We did have a thunderstorm that was capable of producing a tornado that moved through Valdosta, and this is moving down really just south of Stockton now and right over the radar site. So hard to see if we have any potential rotation on that right now just because of the position of where it is over the site. But this is part of some cells that was just to the north of that. So this is where we're seeing a little bit of spin. Pretty broad rotation, but there is rotation nonetheless over 441 and 221. So near where 441 and 221 intersect, that's where we have most of the rotation and the potential for a tornado. So as I mentioned, the Axon community, that's going to be moving right your direction. We can put a storm track on this. And let's go over here. We'll put it right there and go back and look at it. So should be crossing Highway 80 in about, or 82 rather, in about less than 15 minutes. Going to be anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes. We'll be crossing 82 at Axon and then continuing to move there into the northeast corner of Atkinson County. And again, if it holds together, we'll be moving up toward Coffee County and possibly into Ware County, the northwest corner, and would be a good idea. I know Millwood is not in the warning polygon, but still a good idea to go ahead and be prepared to seek shelter and get into that tornado-safe place if the storm holds together and moves in closer. Tornado-safe place, lowest level, most interior room, away from doors and windows, and that's what we preach here on the WeatherNet very often. If you can just sort of remember that and repeat it in your sleep, which I think I'm at the point where I can do that now, you will greatly increase your chances of getting through these typical storms and these tornadoes that are EF0, the EF2. You can get away unscathed. So that's very important that you are prepared when these storms pop up. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect as well, overlaying the tornado warning. So that's no surprise with these storms that are stretching down into Clinch County, Lanier County, starting to move completely out of Lowndes County now. So Valdosta is just going to be raining over the city now. The threat of the tornado is gone there, but now our eyes are up to the northeast of Valdosta, heading through Atkinson County, the southern portion there, again crossing 441, heading toward 82, and the Axon community east of Pearson. But Pearson, you are also in the tornado warning polygon, so it is good that you go ahead and seek shelter right now until this storm passes. Take the track off of here and flip back and take a look at the velocity. This is still some pretty ragged rotation. Not really seeing this get any worse. It really wasn't all that impressive to begin with, but with the way these storms have been going today, it's a good idea to go ahead and be safe. And if you see any sort of rotation at all, go ahead and call it because it could tighten up in a single scan. This could go from a broad rotating storm to a tornado-producing storm within just a matter of seconds. So that's why we are keeping an eye on that. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for portions of Lowndes County and Lanier County, so the southeastern corner of Lanier County. Let's scroll down here and look at it. That's a small warning polygon, but all right. So southeastern Lanier County, east central Lowndes County in a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's in effect until 12:30. Doppler radar indicating that thunderstorm moving across Mayday and continuing just to the south of Lakeland over Stockton and moving toward the northeast at around 55 miles per hour. So this is a much faster moving storm, and that's kind of the south end of this cluster of storms that we are watching here that is producing our tornado warning for Atkinson County and still technically northern Clinch County, although Clinch County is going to be pretty much free of the storm that could produce the tornado. But I'll tell you what's going on right now in Homerville and all the way up to Cogdill. Very strong straight line winds. So right here you can see that gradient very tight. You go from the light rain to the very heavy rain, and that's going to be your significant wind gust. 60 mile an hour wind gust easy on this line here, stretching from Cogdill all the way down to Homerville. So that is the first threat. Then our second threat will be the heavy rain, possibility of hail at the quarter size, and not really seeing rotation. Let's just take another glimpse here. Yeah, this is very fast moving storm. So that is some significant straight line winds now moving in toward Homerville. Back up to Atkinson County, the rotation remains very broad, very ragged, and we can see the storm is kind of getting muddied as well. The inflow notch is starting to flatten out. So right here, not really seeing a good, the inflow is trying to get in right around here, just south of Axon, and that's starting to get cut off. So we're still going to see a lot of rain with this, but I think our chance of this, really spinning up and being a significant mesocyclone and turning into a tornado and all that is relatively low at this point. But I'm not going to break away until the Weather Service says we're all clear, and always take the lead from the National Weather Service. And the folks at the Tallahassee office have been very good about issuing these storms at the first sight that there's potential that something could happen, and then watching it completely fade out, giving it a few more scans, and then calling it off after then. So we do have a new warning that has been issued here from the National Weather Service. This covers portions of Atkinson County, Ware County, and Clinch County. So let's zoom out. We're going to have to get, this covers just about all of Clinch County with the exception of the swamp there in the southern part of the county. This is in effect until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Doppler radar indicating that the line of thunderstorms from Cogdill to Mayday, heading down toward Jennings and Blue Springs in Florida. That is moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour, so still a pretty fast-moving storm here, and the potential of 60-mile-an-hour wind gust with this storm system. And this warning coming out of the Jacksonville office. We'll kind of monitor what's going on there and what they're thinking about. Looking up toward the north, we'll go up toward Baxley and that area up in the Appling County, showing the possibility of wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour there. So we're going to get a warning issued here in just a moment for Appling County, and probably going to get that for Bacon County as well. So we'll stand by and watch that get issued. But we get wind gusts that high, that's gonna prompt a severe thunderstorm warning. So that's going to pop up any second now, and we'll follow up on that as soon as it does. We'll continue to monitor our tornado warning here for Atkinson County, technically still parts of Clinch County, and that's going to remain in effect until 12:30. Let's skip back and look. There's that rotation. Very broad, very ragged, not very well organized. And let's go ahead and take a look at some of the upper levels to see what we have. Yeah, the upper level rotation is actually a little bit more impressive than what's happening at the surface. So what does that mean? Well, it means that at this particular second in time of this radar scan, which actually at this point is now 2 minutes old, not going to see a tornado. But when you have that upper level rotation, that can get things going in the lower levels as well. So that just means that potential is still there. So I think that's probably why Tallahassee's hanging on to this warning, because we do have that somewhat impressive rotation in the upper levels. And all right, so we may not get a warning for Appling and Bacon, but we do have a significant weather advisory. So it looks like this could be just shy of a severe thunderstorm of the threshold there. So it's a significant weather advisory. That's that one level down. Possibility of penny-size hail, and now wind gusts looks like 45 to 55 miles per hour. And this is going to be for Bacon County and Appling County. And so that will include Baxley and Surrency will be in there as well with this thunderstorm here. So this just worth taking note of. It's not severe at the moment. Could go severe. We'll just continue to monitor that and watch it. But for right now, we'll just call that a significant thunderstorm. But severe thunderstorms for sure moving through Clinch County and Eccles County. Strong straight line winds. Stantonville, it's going to be raining there now. But and Tarver picked up that wind over the last few minutes. But now the wind is going to continue to push toward that southeast corner, heading toward Needmore, really riding right along Highway 94 with those strong wind gusts. And then we move up more toward the north, heading into Clinch County. Heavy rain in DuPont. We have the rain now moving into Homerville, maybe a little bit of hail south of Homerville, and the strong straight line winds. Argyle, very, very windy right now. Could be seeing those 50-mile-an-hour plus wind gusts in Argyle. And as that continues to move toward the Ware County line with Clinch and Ware County, that's where the wind is going to be picking up quite a bit. But our main concern is going to be this red polygon. That's our tornado warning in effect for Atkinson County, northern Clinch County. And what we're looking at here is this spot right here. We got some bright reds. We have this green. This isn't anything that says we definitely have a tornado on the ground. And other thing is we're really close to the radar site. So this gives us a great advantage to spot these tornadoes and the potential for the lower levels. Obviously, you're not going to get a tornado come out of the sky from 30,000 feet up and drop down to the surface. They're only going to be a few hundred feet, maybe 1,000 feet up in the air. And being so close to the radar site, actually the lowest level we have is about 1,800 feet. So we're looking up at 1,800 feet up, and that's a pretty good spot to look for these tornadoes. And at the moment, we're seeing broad rotation there in the lower levels. We go up into the upper levels, and that rotation, let's see, at this point we're looking up at about 8,000 feet up. So this is pretty elevated. And looking at the overall storm is rotating, and that's the first step you need in order to get a tornado to spin up. So the tornado warning for Clinch County has been trimmed out of there, and we're just going to keep the warning east of 221 in Atkinson County. So Pearson, you're still in it, at least the east side of Pearson, still in the tornado warning. But the main concern is going to be moving east of Pearson, just outside of the city limits, continuing to head toward Axon, beginning to cross Highway 82 at this time, pretty close to Millwood, but not quite. So pretty much just moving right through this area here. So west of Axon, east of Pearson in Atkinson County. And then if it continues to hold together, we're going to watch what happens into Coffee County and potentially up into northern part of Ware County. Should impact Dixie Union, but could head toward Beach. if this storm continues to hold together. So here are amazing here. We have two severe thunderstorm warnings side by side. One is enormous, reaches down into Florida, covers portions of Clinch County, up into Ware County. Atkinson County is in there as well, Eccles County. And then we have this small little severe thunderstorm warning just to kind of cover the backside of that, and that is for the extreme eastern corner of Lowndes County and moving into Lanier County. That does cover Stockton and right over the radar site. So that particular warning, the smaller polygon, set to go until 12:30. And actually, let me pop up the times here on the other radar, and you can see what we're looking at. So the small polygon till 12:30, and then the larger area covering multiple counties in Georgia, stretching down into Florida. That is in effect until 1 o'clock. And then we have our tornado warning still in effect for Atkinson County until 12:30. So 9 minutes to go on that. And we got a new scan here, so let's flip back and take a look at, see if we have anything. Yeah, same kind of rotation there, very broad, not very organized, and it just really hasn't changed a lot in the last several scans, but the rotation's still there, so it's a good idea we just go ahead and continue to watch this storm progress through Atkinson County, and if it holds together, again, we could be seeing this extended on up into Coffee County and maybe in the northern Ware County. So the severe thunderstorm warning continues for portions of Atkinson, Clinch, Eccles, and Ware County. Part of that warning box has been dropped out to the west. It looks like that small warning has also been canceled. And then we still have the possibility of, let's see, let me take a little way up here. Yeah, the possibility of 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and hail up to 1 inch in diameter with this storm system here moving through Eccles County and then up into Ware County, and Clinch County, rather, and moving up the northern end is up into Ware County. So extreme South Georgia is what we're talking about here. If you're not familiar with this part of the state, this is what we're looking at. The storms actually extend further up to the northeast, but that's the extent of our radar coverage. If you would like to take a look at where the storms are actually reaching out to, I can flip over here and take a look at our big picture radar, our composite radar. So this is one very large squall line. Let's zoom out even more, and you can see that this just keeps going. I mean, this goes all the way up to around Richmond, Virginia, stretches down through the Triad of North Carolina, and then through the lowlands of South Carolina, moving down into Charleston, and then entering the state of Georgia. The leading edge of the line now starting to move into Chatham County, heading toward Pooler and Savannah, and then that line continues to extend back down to the southwest into Douglas, and moving toward Waycross, and then exiting the state near Valdosta, and then cutting right across the Panhandle into the Gulf. So this is a massive, long squall line from Virginia all the way to the Gulf of Mexico, and we are experiencing our share of it here in southeast Georgia, and specifically in South Georgia around Atkinson County. That's where we have our tornado warning. Now, Pearson, looks like you're going to be all in the clear now. Let's go and take a look at our latest sweep that we have on the high-res radar. And we're still showing that rotation now right over Highway 82 around Axon and continuing into northeast Atkinson County. But Pearson, it's just right on the edge of town there. So if you are west of 221, no problem at all. All right, we see the tornado warning polygon has been scaled down even more. So looks like they're gonna hang on to this one until the end at 12:30, but they are beginning to break it down a little bit more. So this storm continues just to the east of Pearson, moving to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. Still the possibility of quarter-size hail, and still the possibility of a tornado coming out of this thing. And if it happens, it's going to be around the Axon community. So that's going to be the area to just be in your tornado safe place, lowest level, most interior room, away from doors and windows until this storm passes completely. But the rest of Atkinson County, as we're talking about before, west of 221 is really not a concern at all. But the city of Pearson and heading out toward Willacoochee, the western half of Atkinson County, no problems. Most of southern Atkinson County also in the clear as well of the tornado warning. And now pretty much light rain. That's going to be followed up with some more moderate rain moving in. We can put our radar in motion, and you can see what's happening here. So the heavy rain goes light, and then we just get that moderate soaking rain on the backside. Basically, just to finish things off, if there's no flooding in your neighborhood with the main line, you may get some as a result of that rain coming in on the backside. Our severe thunderstorm warning also being edited just a bit as well. So this remains in effect for northwest. This is in Florida, Columbia and Suwannee and Hamilton County. Those are Florida counties. But here in Georgia, southeastern Atkinson County, northwestern Ware County, and Clinch County remains under the severe thunderstorm warning until 1 o'clock. So that's that large yellow polygon that you see right here. So it does cover Homerville, Cogdell, down into Eccles County, including Potter. As I mentioned, Needmore is going to be experiencing those gusty winds here over the next few minutes, and the heavy rainfall will be moving in as well. Let's take a look at the possibility of some hail. Yep, there's hail just sort of scattered all along this line. So cutting right through Clinch County, Homerville, near Homerville could be seeing some hail. And this could be our most significant hail right along the Eccles-Clinch County line. So the possibility of 3/4 of an inch hail, that's considered severe hail. So that's another reason why we have that severe thunderstorm warning there, is with that severe hail risk right along the Eccles-Clinch County line. So we'll move back up to the north here, and there's that small warning polygon that we're still keeping an eye on for our tornado warning, still showing the broad rotation over Axon. We've been calling out Axon a million times, but this storm isn't moving very quickly. Some of the other storms surrounding it moving a lot quicker than this one, but at the last check, the speed on this is northeast at about 30 miles per hour. We've had some storms earlier today that were moving at 55 miles per hour, so we had a big-time straight-line wind component to that. This particular storm's moving at about 30 miles per hour, so a little bit slower, and gives a little bit more opportunity for a couple of things. A lot more rain can fall. Flooding is a concern, but as they move slow, that's going to start pulling in more of the rain and moisture into this system. And if it's cooler rain, that's going to start to cut this storm system off. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing. This has been a pretty ragged storm from the beginning, but it continues to just not be very organized. It's not what we look for a storm that's going to produce a significant tornado. Let's put it that way. But a spin-up tornado, EF0, EF1, still very possible as long as we see this wind shear, which has now moved pretty much over Axon. It's crossed over 82, now in that extreme northeast corner of Atkinson County. That still has that potential that you could get a spin-up tornado. And they don't last very long. They don't travel very far, but this particular type of storm, could be an EF0, EF1, could be on the ground if it's going to drop one for a couple of miles, and then it's gone. So let's see if we have any indication that it's dropped a tornado. I don't think it has, but we'll look for any sort of debris signature. And I don't see anything that's shouting at me, so I think this one remained up in the clouds. Could have been a funnel cloud, and it'll be interesting to see if we get any reports of at least a funnel cloud, but I don't think we're going to get any tornado warnings out of this. All right, so we have a tornado warning now issued for Atkinson and Ware County. So again, they're just going to hold on to this because we still have that broad rotation, so it's capable of dropping a tornado. So we have a tornado warning now in effect for the southeastern corner of Atkinson County, and there's the polygon, and northwestern Ware County until 1 o'clock. That storm around Cogdell moving about 12 miles east of Pearson, and that's moving east now, picking up a little bit of speed now at 45 miles per hour. So this is a radar-indicated rotation. We don't have any eyes on this, any spotters indicating that we have a tornado, but there is the possibility that this could produce one. So the danger here, flying debris. If you are outside, you need to move indoors in a site-built home or structure, a building, a business that was built on site, brick and mortar. or wood, but you don't want to be in a mobile home, and you certainly don't want to be in an automobile. So really along 82 from Millwood to the Pearson side of Axon, you do not need to be out on the roadways. And also looking at Highway 158 up in northern Ware County, that's going to be our next target as well. So that's the highway that connects Waresboro to Douglas. You need to be off the roads there. If you know someone that is going to be traveling in that area, just sit it out for a little bit until that storm can pass, because that's going to be a dangerous area there as the storm moves through. Even if it doesn't drop a tornado, the strong straight line winds are going to be a big concern. Got a report out of Douglas in Coffee County of wind gusts up to 44 miles per hour, and that is at the Douglas Municipal Airport. So that's up northwest of where we're looking at right here. But this report was about 10 minutes ago. So yeah, these storms are producing the wind for sure. So 44 mile an hour wind gusts at the Douglas Airport, and I think we're seeing wind even more significant than that on the leading edge of this storm down into Ware County and then parts of Clinch County as well. And here's a new tornado warning, and this one looks a lot more impressive here. So this is going to be for Clinch County, central Clinch County. Doppler radar indicating that tornado or a storm potentially producing a tornado about 10 miles north of Needmore. That's 13 miles northwest of Fargo, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. And this is radar indicated. And yeah, this is a much more substantial looking couplet here. We kind of see some rotation here, and then we're also looking right in this area as well. So this is going to be east of Halo, this is east of Highway 187. This is outside of Eccles County. So this is just inside Clinch County. If you're coming in from Eccles to Clinch along Highway 187 there, this is where this storm is going to be. So this one has a little bit more potential, I think, than our storm to the north. It's been showing that pretty broad rotation over a long period of time. And just getting the information from the Weather Service here. Yeah, they're watching this one very closely as well with that rotation out near Millwood. Let's put the velocity back up again. And I'll tell you what, and one other tool we can look at. So north of Needmore, right here, this is outside of the warning polygon, and I'm not completely sure why this area is not in the warning polygon. And then we see a new scan here, because this is where we're getting most of our rotation right here, right on the edge, right on the southern edge of the warning polygon. So this is approaching Highway 441. This is above Fargo. I know there's not a lot of population in this part of Clinch County, but there are some homes, and I know that there are some manufactured homes in that area as well along 441 between Fargo and Homerville. So if you know anybody in that area, really the time is now to seek cover because this is showing some significant rotation. And let's see if we have any indication of debris, and I don't see any. Well, let's see what we have here. Possibly. Northeast of Tarver. This was about 10 minutes ago. That could just be radar noise. Could be a little contamination from some hail. But let me just follow this forward. Not a substantial debris signature. We'll get the word out of the Weather Service and see if they saw the same thing. But we may have kicked up a little bit of debris. Again, could have been a funnel cloud that didn't make it all the way to the ground as technically a tornado around Tarver and in Eccles County. But it does look like we had a little bit of debris being kicked up there. So we'll continue to monitor the storm reports out of Eccles County. And that's important to know because that's the same cell that's moving in to Clinch County right now. And let's go down to the lower levels again and move forward. And here we go. So let's take a look at our velocity. Yeah, it's pretty good rotation there. Fairly broad, but this storm, as we've been talking about, having that little inflow notch right here. See this little kink in the storm. This allows that warm, humid air to enter the storm and then condense from there, continue to build up the momentum and build up the strength. And so that's the thing that we really want to watch out for when we see those notches. Up to the north, we don't really see that. See how this is just kind of a big blob? Best way to describe it. That's usually a better sign. Now, we still show that broad rotation that's moved through Millwood and is going to be approaching Dixie Union. So if you have friends, family, anybody that you know in northern Ware County up around Dixie Union, let them know that this storm is moving their way. It's crossing Highway 158 and heading that direction and moving out of the Millwood area now. Does look like eastern Atkinson County is going to be in the clear, still technically in the warned area. Let's see, could that jump? Well, right here on the county line. So, yeah, good idea that Atkinson County, the eastern edge anyway, is still under the warning. Out around Axon, no problems. But right in here, we're going to watch this. This is going to be our circulation. Let me go the correct direction, counterclockwise. This is our rotation just above Millwood, crossing right. It kind of crossed into Atkinson County for just a second. Now moving back in to northern Ware County. Got a storm report coming out of Clinch County, report of dime-size hail. No surprise there, and I think some folks could be seeing even larger hail than that. So here we are in Clinch County, and we have a hail marker right now, that half-inch size hail really moving right across 441, right there between Homerville and Fargo. Not a lot of landmarks to talk about in this part of Clinch County, but for folks that are familiar with that area, they know that long drive between Homerville and Fargo. And that's where we have really the most significant portion of this storm cell. So we'll flip over and take a look at our radar imagery across the state just to kind of reset and let you know what we're looking at here. Up in metro Atlanta, West Georgia, almost every spot west of I-75, with the exception a little bit there of Lowndes County, is in the clear at this hour. Storm still continuing to cross I-75 there in extreme South Georgia. But this is our main concern that we have, these two tornado warnings. We have the warning up toward the north in effect until 1 o'clock, and this is covering portions of Atkinson and Ware County. And then we have our storm down to the south. That's in effect until 12:45, and that's for central Clinch County. And that's really our big concern right now. That's the most aggressive-looking storm that we're looking at. We'll go back to the high-res radar in just a second. I just wanted to show you the big picture of where these storms are and where they're going. We can go ahead and put this in motion as well. And we can kind of see a little convergence of the bow line. Let me pause right about here, and then we can see this was at 11:42, so this was almost an hour ago. But you can see this bowing segment of the line. This is a really windy portion of the line, and then this is kind of the ugly portion. This is moving this way, and then this is kind of moving this way. So these are coming together and colliding. That doesn't make a superstorm or anything of that nature. It actually can diminish the storms somewhat because they're competing for strength. But we'll go back to the now, and we can see Savannah is picking up that line, that bowing line segment. So that's some very strong gusty winds moving into Savannah. It'll be interesting to see what the wind reports are at the Savannah airport here shortly, because that's really on top of the airport right now. And then that real ugly line here that's moving more toward the east-northeast is continuing to produce some strong to severe thunderstorms and, again, the potential for some tornadoes there. So let's zoom in and we'll look again at our velocity tool to see if we have our rotation. Still looking at the broad rotation, well past Millwood at this point. Looks like it's going to move between Peach and Dixie Union in North Ware County. So those are the areas where folks need to be in their tornado-safe place, lowest level, most interior room, away from doors and windows. And then our tornado warning down to the south for central Clinch County. And that is going to be our most aggressive. Let's see if we can get what our TDS is on. We do not have a TDS. All right, good. Okay, yeah, maybe we do on this latest scan. All right, this is going to be a tornado on the ground. We do have a debris signature. That is very obvious. Crossing 441. Again, right in the middle of Clinch County. This is really splitting the difference between Homerville and Fargo. And we're going to hopefully this is in a rural enough area that we don't have any significant damage here. But this is going to be a tornado on the ground. And, yeah, you can see this is a really, really aggressive storm. Look at this inflow notch that's just bowing around like this. This is the most significant storm I've seen in the state so far since we've been tracking all this last night. All right, so I'm not trying to exaggerate and try to create a bunch of dramatics here. I'm just telling you that as far as the organization of this storm, this is everything that a storm needs to really, really get the energy going. And we can see the obvious couplet here, the rotation, and then we go back to our debris signature, this spot right there. I'll zoom in even closer in case you're not able to see it. So this right here, that's debris, and we can back up a little bit, and we can see that the colors get even brighter. So those lowered, what we call the lowered CC, that's an indicator that that's not rain. This is objects being lofted into the air that are of oblong shape, so could be leaves. More than likely with so low CC, this could be tree branches, limbs, could be shingles, could be other types of debris. So that's riding right along the line there of the tornado warning polygon. And the folks at the Weather Service seeing the same thing that we're looking at as well. And their assessment is that is probably tree damage. So again, not a lot of population in that area. And let's hope that did not strike. I mean, there are random homes down there for sure. I'm just going to pull up and take a look at some of our mapping software that we can overlay this. Actually, here's what we can do. Let's turn off the radar for just each county. And let me zoom out just a moment to give you a view of what we're looking at. South Georgia. So if you are watching this west of I-75, north of I-16, up in North Georgia, you have no problems. Things are going to start clearing out in North Georgia, and temperatures are going to drop a bit as well on the backside of this cold front. But what we're really keeping an eye on here is in Clinch County, and then folks in Ware County. Looks like could be south of Waycross, so I'm not sure if this particular storm is going to move in the Waycross, but the line itself will be moving in the Waycross, and we're going to be seeing some hail moving there. But Ware County, you need to be on alert and ready for this storm to move in, because this one is substantial, and and this is a tornado. So it looks like the debris signature has dissipated. So this was probably on the ground. Let's see. Let's do the timing here. Probably dropped down at about 12:35, and then lifted at around 12:41. So very, very brief, but I do think that we'll get the official word. The Weather Service will go out there and take a look and see if we have the kind of tree damage you're looking for. There are certain things they look for to differentiate straight line winds versus tornado damage, and that one will probably be called a tornado. So I'm just kind of looking at that area of where this was. So yeah, around Headlight Road, north of that, is what looks like where the storm was going to cross, the Jones Creek area in Clinch County. And so let's take another look at, still got that rotation there, looking at the possibility of some hail as well, but the debris signature is gone. But boy, this was really pronounced right here as it crossed 441. That's the only reason that, really have concern over this debris signature. It's not like it happened out here in the middle of the country. It crossed the highway, and that's where we do have a couple of businesses down there and a few homes. So let's just hope for the best that we were just looking at tree damage, because that was right on Highway 441. Let's take a look at our storm up toward the north. Now moving through northern Ware County. And we're still looking at that broad rotation, moving over Dixie Union. And just to be safe, let's just roll back a few frames for northern Ware County. And also we have that tornado watch in effect as well. All right, we may have dropped out for just a minute. Thank you for watching. And while I have you in between the latest scans here, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page. You'll get these updates anytime we have severe weather throughout the state of Georgia, even if it's in very sparsely populated areas, we treat downtown Atlanta just like we treat Fargo, Georgia. It's all the same. We want to make sure you get the word, and if you are living in any of these areas or know someone who is, it's important that we get this information out to you quickly. And so the best way to do that, subscribe to our YouTube channel and like and follow our Facebook page for updates throughout the state of Georgia here from the Georgia WeatherNet. And we're also broadcast on local radio stations, some great radio stations throughout the state, wonderful stations in Albany, and on the air in Statesboro. It's been a busy morning in Statesboro with those lines of storms that moved through that area. Luckily, it's all clear up there at this point. I'll move over toward the Statesboro. Well, we have the rain, but we're clear of the severe thunderstorm, so that's a good thing. All right, so it has been a long night last night and a early morning this morning. Had a little lull in the action through the overnight hours. But as we thought, that these storms were going to continue to produce these strong to severe thunderstorms capable of producing the tornadoes, and they certainly have been doing that through the day. So the tornado debris signature has ended. This is from the Weather Service. And so, yeah, that was a tornado. We saw one happen here as it happened on radar. And so that we're going to continue to monitor that cell as it moves through. The warning for Ware County, the tornado warning has, is it continuing? Let me grab this text here and see what we have. So the tornado warning remains in effect until 1 o'clock for northern Ware County. Okay, we see the polygon there on the radar. So the latest update from the Weather Service, that severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado over Dixie Union, about 11 miles south of Alma, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So still the possibility of a tornado with this storm. And let me take a look at our big picture radar here, and we'll zoom in on this. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and grab the high-res data here. And we'll turn that on and take a look at it. So there you go. Big difference between the high-res and the low-res, right? So there's that tornado warning until 1 o'clock, northern Ware County. And we can put a track on this if it's going to hold together and hold at its current speed. Now, this is a long way down the road to be talking about Jessup, but let's just talk about it and understand that more than likely the rotation that we have in this storm will have dissipated by 1:40 before it gets up into the Jessup area, but the storm itself will probably still be intact. So just be on the lookout for that, moving up toward the Screven community and then up to Jessup. That's Screven, the community, not the county, and then up into Jessup here over the next hour. So this storm, it's going to move a lot of, or it's going to cover a lot of ground here over the next hour. But as for right now, our prime concern is in northern Ware County with this tornado warning. And just give me just a second here. I'm making sure we have everything else covered. All right, go back to the to our Valdosta radar and see what we got going on. The broad rotation does remain as it continues there near Dixie Union. That's US 1. That's the highway that goes through Dixie Union. Great way to get down to Florida, by the way, US 1, if you want to avoid the interstates. Few traffic lights and signs, but it's a lot of great things to look at there going along Highway 1. So the storm is crossing Dixie Union, US 1, Ware County, and then next stop will be moving into Pierce County, possibly into Bacon County. Looks like it's going to ride right along the county line between Pierce and Bacon County. Blackshear, I think, is going to be moving North View. Mershon will be moving in your direction, and we'll be moving close to Patterson and Pierce County, but let's worry about that whenever that is issued. We may get a severe thunderstorm warning issued out of this, although if that broad rotation holds together, it's a possibility we could get another tornado warning. So we're going to hang out right here and just monitor this storm as it continues to move through northern Ware County, heading through Dixie Union, heading toward the Bacon-Pierce County line. And it looks like it probably will ride right up along the county line as it moves through. So let's put the track right here. Yeah, look at that, very close to the county line. Looks like it's going to favor Pierce County a little bit more than Bacon County. But if you know anybody in that area, just let them know that they've got a strong storm moving that way that has the potential for a tornado. Not in a warning yet for Pierce or Bacon, but that could be coming soon. All right, we'll back up, just take a look at some of our severe thunderstorm warning areas that we have here in South Georgia. So we got the big polygon still in effect until 1 o'clock, and this is covering portions of Atkinson County, Ware, Clinch, Eccles. And that's as a result of that line of storms. It's really starting to outrun the polygon box. I mean, Clinch County right now, most of the county is pretty quiet, but we are still experiencing those strong thunderstorms off toward the eastern corner of the county. So there we go. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning about to be issued for Appling, Bacon, Brantley, Pierce, and Ware County. And that's as a result of that cell that's moving through Dixie Union. Doppler radar indicating that severe thunderstorm. That is, we've got actually a line here, obviously. So from Jamestown to Blackshear, moving toward Blackshear, and this is moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So looking at 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail with this storm system as it is moving to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. And we should see the warning polygon box pop up here any minute now. Some of the data stream can be a little bit delayed, but we're getting the information directly from the Weather Service. So there it is. Appling, Bacon, Brantley, Pierce, Ware County. So portions of all those counties, pretty much all of Pierce County is in there. The southern, southeastern edge of Bacon County. We have northern Ware County, and then just for safety's sake, down here in Brantley County, including Hoboken, they will be experiencing the strong thunderstorm moving in as well, and we're seeing this bow shape. So again, you know what that means. That's the gusty winds. That's where we can see those wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, and I think that's going to be pretty prevalent in Blackshear down to Hoboken and in a good part of western Brantley County. But it is good to see that this did not get, this tornado warning did not get extended, just the severe thunderstorm warning. So that's giving us an indication that the rotation is becoming a little bit less of a concern. Otherwise, we would have had that tornado warning extended into Pierce and Bacon, but that's going to be replaced basically by this severe thunderstorm warning. And we can see part of the warning polygon out to the west just disappeared. So just looking at that moderate rain from Homerville up to Pearson and Millwood and on up into Coffee County, Douglas and Nichols with that moderate rain. The stronger thunderstorms now stretching really from Dixie Union, moving into Blackshear. It's crossed through Waycross, heading in to Brantley County. And then we're getting into the parts of Clinch County that, or Ware County and Charlton County. That's pretty sparsely populated. We'll obviously a lot of the Okefenokee down there in that area, but that's going to be picking up some very strong winds and heavy rain, and then, of course, lightning with these storms as well. That's one thing we haven't been talking about as much, the lightning, but there's been a pretty good amount of lightning here in South Georgia. The lightning has calmed down a lot up in Middle Georgia and North Georgia as that line moved through. But our biggest concern, I think we have really with this system is going to be the straight line winds. And then our biggest concerns we've had this morning up in North Georgia has been with all the flooding. So we can take a look real quick at what's going on across the state. If you're watching us from somewhere besides South Georgia, you may be curious as to what's happening. And this is what it looks like in Georgia. You see a few light showers still kind of lingering around metro Atlanta, but there's just not much energy to work with there. So I don't think we're going to see anything severe pop up out of that. But that little secondary line is going to be something that will bring a few showers cutting through the state today as we continue to move through the afternoon hours. But the bulk of the storms right here, positioned in southeast Georgia, now pretty much exclusively east of I-75. The severe stuff all south of I-16. Still looking at some moderate to heavy rain up in Statesboro, Millen, and up into Metter and Swainsboro. But then you get south of I-16. This is where the fireworks are occurring. All right, we have a what we call a tornado vortex signature, a TVS, that has just popped up around Dixie Union. So let's see what we got going on here. We'll look at our velocity. Yeah, we're going to get an extended tornado warning, I do believe, out of this. We'll see. I don't want to say anything ahead of time, but this is Jacksonville's responsibility. They have expired the tornado warning for Ware County. That storm has moved out, but we're starting to see that rotation tighten up again as it moves into Pierce County. So don't be surprised if we get a tornado warning issued for Pierce and Bacon County over the next few minutes. But we'll keep it right here and just see what happens. For now, a severe thunderstorm warning is covering that area. So maybe that's the extent of what they call here. But we're just going to hold it here for a few more minutes and see if we get a tornado warning for that system. Again, this is some decent rotation. This is actually a little better rotation than we've been seeing so far out of that cell as it approached Dixie Union and then moved across US 1. And so this is right along the Ware-Pierce County line. It's going to be just to the south of Bacon County. And we'll see what we got. So nothing yet, just the severe thunderstorm warning. And this is in effect until 1:15. The yellow polygon covering portions of Pierce, Brantley, Ware, Bacon, and Appling counties. And so we'll give this another 3 minutes. And if we don't get a warning out of this, we'll go ahead and we'll stop the broadcast for now. All right. So let's see what we have. Do have some discussion coming out of the Tallahassee office, just talking about what's going on in the atmosphere there. So things obviously have calmed down a lot west of Valdosta, but still east of Valdosta, east of I-75. We still have the potential for these strong to severe thunderstorms. And it looks like, let's take another peek here at our velocity. All right, now this is starting to mellow out. So if we go back a scan right here, it looks pretty ominous, and now we go forward one scan, and that has broadened out quite a bit. So the Weather Service may just hang on to this as a severe thunderstorm warning. It is a severe thunderstorm, and it is one that you should take very seriously. Straight line winds are involved in this, and this is going to move just to the north of Blackshear, heading toward Mershon, should be just north of Patterson. But we do have most of Pierce County, southern part of Bacon County, and even heading down into Ware County and Brantley County under this severe thunderstorm warning. So we're going to go ahead and end the broadcast at this time and post some additional updates to our Facebook page as necessary as we continue to follow these storms as they continue to move toward the coastline for the next couple of hours.